Hello. Martin here with part 2 of this week's property inspired Ask Martin Anything. Has anyone changed that around? Just Ask Martin Anything. You can ask me anything. It has a sort of property tinge to it. So let's get on. Yes, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you set your alerts, okay? The little bell thing. Because I didn't realise that actually if you don't do that, then you don't get to know when I post videos. This is Ask Martin Monday, hashtag Ask Martin Monday on my Twitter, which is @TV Martin Roberts, where you can ask me all sorts of questions on a Monday on Twitter. I generally answer them on Monday, and then we recycle them in an environmentally friendly fashion. For this, do put in a question. Do check out these things a few weeks later, because your question will probably get a slightly longer answer, which is what Christopher Peacock is going to get. Christopher Peacock. Hello, Christopher. Hi, Martin. What's your ideal first date for a 31-year-old man who's into craft beer, golf, and the career of Dion Dublin's Dube? Well, I think probably a date with a 31-year-old woman who's into craft beer, golf, and the career of Dion Dublin's Dube. I'm not being facetious, but finding somebody who has similar interests would be a good start. And I like picnics, you know. I mean, I think there's a certain... a meal is great, but I like the outdoors, and as long as the weather's all right, there aren't too many wasps. But it's all good for a laugh, isn't it? So I think a picnic is quite a nice thing to do. Yeah, or a restaurant. Merck. Hello, Merck. Beano or Dandy? Well, without a doubt, the Beano. And I have to say, one of my greatest claims to fame is that I was actually caricatured by one of the Beano artists. Now, it didn't appear in the magazine, but Homes Under the Hammer did, and it was mentioned in one of the Dennis the Menace stories. I mean, can you believe it? How amazing is that? I've actually got a copy of the magazine or the comic with it in, which was just amazing. I mean, oh my gosh, to be in the Beano, wow. I mean, it was my comic growing up. Dandy obviously had Desperate Dan. Apart from that, the characters in the Beano I always thought were better. Like, you had Minnie the Minx, you had obviously Dennis the Menace and Nash, you had the Bash Street Kids. You know, I mean, no contest really. So for lots of reasons, the Beano. Spangle Gemma. Hello, Spangle. Hi, Martin. I was wondering why most people do not paint the edge of doors, just the back and front. Humour me. Because I can't be bothered when I do. Why wouldn't you paint the edge of the doors? Have you noticed a lot of this? I'd say it's not a trend that I've seen, but you know, I believe you, but you know, very odd. It's my HD rats. I've started now. I've discovered that my phone automatically defaults to HD, which is great, but it just makes the files just massive. And anyway, I'm probably going to chomp through my storage, so this might be HD. It's like Next question, Robert Clark. I'm a train enthusiast. I have to ask, have you ever done a property to railway station, like a former station building? Yes, but the station is still open? No. So we have done a couple very close to railway stations, and I think there was one former railway station, a real little tiny one, that we did years and years ago, but not when the station is open. Properties near railways, but not actually the station itself. Adrian Hollins. Hello, Adrian. Hi, Martin. Do you prefer the heavyweight Subbuteo players from the 60s and 70s, or the lightweight players from the time I grew up with it, which is in the 80s and 90s? Or are you going to go full left field and claim to be more of a zombie fan? Well, so I was never particularly into Subbuteo. I was more into train sets. So, yeah, Hornby train sets and things, 00 and all that kind of stuff. But I do have a Subbuteo set, and it's definitely the heavyweight players from the earlier period. But it's great stuff, isn't it? All right. Dan Kenyon. Hi, Martin. Do you believe aliens are real, or are we all alone? Have a great Monday. Well, I've never seen one, and I've never met anyone who's seen an alien. But if you believe in the theory of infinity, if there is a theory like that, but you know what I mean in a second, in if the universe is infinite, then there are an infinite number of planets, and therefore there are an infinite number of planets which are inhabited by other beings. And if you take that to its extreme, which is where the theory of infinity gets a bit odd, is that if there's an infinite number of planets, this is going to be a bit like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but then there will be another planet which is just identical to Earth, and there will be another Martin doing exactly this at this point, because that's what infinity is all about. It doesn't have an end, does it? So even if the probability is 1 to the power of 45 billion against, it doesn't matter, because that's still bigger than infinite, or smaller than infinite, whichever way around it is. So, but that's where infinity is a bit strange, isn't it? I don't think you can do your head in on that too much. It's the idea. There's another Martin just doing this somewhere. Yeah, very funny. So I think the space is very big. As Douglas Adams again said, space is big. Really, really big. If you think taking a trip to the shops is a long way, that is absolutely nothing compared to the huge space-time continuum that is our galaxy, or words to that effect. Ah dear. I'm just thinking of Marvin the paranoid android. Brain the size of a planet, and they make me open a door. Ah dear. The first 10,000 years, they were the worst. The second 10,000, they were the worst as well. Which just randomly reminds me to finish off with, sadly, you'll know that Murray Walker passed away a few weeks ago, the great motor racing commentator. And he obviously was famous for his Murray Walkerisms, where he say things like, the car's absolutely fine, apart from the fact it's on fire. It's my favourite. It's just, which is so surreal. It's brilliant. Well, that would be his third win in a row if he'd won the other two. Just, oh dear. Yeah, anyway, whatever. Right, so listen, I hope you enjoyed that. Short and sweet this week. So keep sending your questions in to hashtag AskMartinMonday on Twitter, at TV Martin Roberts. Make sure you like this, make sure you subscribe, and also set your alert. And we'll be back with more of this stuff next week.